Hello everyone, I am Apeksha and I welcome you back to TMR Talks. Easy Trip Planners, which is the parent company of EaseMyTrip.com, is all set to launch its IPO in the Indian stock market. So EaseMyTrip is an online travel portal and they have been offering different services such as ticket booking. So you can book your airline, railway and bus ticket, plus they offer certain hotel and holiday packages along with certain value added services like travel insurance, visa processing, etc. Now the question is, how do they cater and operate in all these different segments that I just mentioned about? So initially when the company was founded, which was in the year 2008, they started directly with B2B2C, which is business to consumer. And under this, they used to have these travel agents who would book the ticket for the consumer. So basically they used to serve the offline market. Later on in the year 2011, they started selling it directly to the customers. So they entered in B2C. So if I am a consumer, I could go to their website or their application and I can book my ticket myself. And 2 years later, which was around 2013, they entered in B2E, which is business to enterprise. So wherein they provide travel solutions directly to the corporate clients. And these are the details of certain tie-ups that they have with airlines plus Indian and international hotels. Now talking about this kind of business model, what happens is if we speak from the consumer's perspective, just let's take an example. If I am a consumer and I want an airline ticket, I will definitely go to different portals and different websites and I'll try to check where am I getting the best possible options. I'll also see if I can get any discounts, right? Most of us do that. So then I will land up at one deal, right? So that is why we need to check a few indicators which are very specific to business, which will help us in getting the clarity regarding whether the business is overall very strong or not. Because today the person can come to my website and tomorrow he or she can go to some other website and book it because they got a better deal. Or, they might not like the interface of my website. It could be anything. So let's have a look at it. So the visits to the website for this company has increased at a CAGR of 51% from FY18 to FY20. Also, the downloads of their app, the Android and the iOS app has also increased at a 64% CAGR from FY18 to FY20. Plus, they have highest travel agent network as compared to the other players that are there in this market. Also, the other ratios that you can see, such as the booking success ratio, etc., has increased. And the look to book ratio, which is the ratio which tells that how many people came to the portal and out of them how many have actually made a transaction, that is also in a good shape. So overall these figures are in a good shape. Now we will try to take some more clarity and have a look at the numbers of how the company is overall performing. Okay, so here is the gross booking revenue. And as you can see that most of it is coming from the B2C distribution channel. Plus 90% of the revenue is coming from airline sector, almost 94. So this actually is a problematic thing as well because they are relying almost entirely on the airline business. And here is the breakup between the domestic and the international airline tickets which have been booked. Now let's try to understand how much is the business making, how much is the revenue and the profit of the company. So this is the total income and PAT. As you can see, this has been improving year on year. But obviously, because of COVID, the entire travel industry as well as hotel industry was impacted very badly. But here in this chart, we cannot really see, it is not visible if there was any impact. So that is why we will go to the breakup. Okay. So in this breakup, there is a revenue of revenue from operation and other income. So if you look at the 31st December 2020 figure, you can clearly see that 40% is other income. So now we need to understand what is this 40%? What does this 40% comprise of? So one of the thing is interest income and there is a portion which is a significant portion of deferred income. Now what the management has explained is that whenever there is some cancellation of ticket, they get the amount back from the airline within a span of 2 years. Okay. Now there is one problem that I'll explain you in this. So because of COVID, there are a lot of cancellations that have happened. Now for a few cases, what these airline companies etc. They have done is they have given, they have not given directly the money back, but instead there are certain coupons and coins etc. they have given. So maybe you will have some coupons and coins in your EaseMyTrip wallet. So of course people are going to use that only in the future when they want to book some ticket, which is a good thing. But most of the money was refunded by the airlines to the customers. Under this case, I believe that the airlines will definitely not be able to give the entire money back to this company, because they have taken a big hit because of COVID, and they will definitely try to negotiate something with these players. So this figure under other income, which is of deferred revenue, that may or may not be entirely recovered. So that we will have to definitely keep a tap about it in the future, what happens. So this is actually a point of concern according to us. Plus, there might be dividends in the future. The company is a cash rich company, and they have a cash balance of approximately 140 crores. Till date, there was no dividend which was given by them, but in the future they might. Plus, the margins are also at a good level. If you look at the post-lockdown, margins, they have actually improved. This is because the efficiencies had improved. Certain things they had directly automated, and that's the reason. Now it's time to do some comparison with the other players in the market and try to understand how big or how small this company is. So we can see that MMT, MakeMyTrip, is really a huge company, the market leader, but unfortunately it is a loss-making company along with Yatra. The cost-related expenses are also very less for EaseMyTrip compared to others. This chart will give you more clarity on that cost-related aspect. Also, one thing that makes EaseMyTrip stand out is that they do not charge any convenience fee. So whenever we are booking any ticket, we are charged this convenience fee from the others, but EaseMyTrip is not charging that since the point they started their business. Also, you remember I just spoke about the other income part. I said that it is very dicey, and that is something which is a point of concern. So for MMT, which is a huge market player, if you look at their other income, it is just 7.9, whereas for EaseTrip planners, it is around 39.7. So this is something which has, alarmed me ever since I started analyzing this company. So we will have to keep a watch on what happens to this other income point in the future, whether they are able to recover it fully or not. Also, even if MMT is the big player, this company is also increasing its market share year on year. The industry trend is also set to rise, but it is not very much attractive. These are the offer details. The issue opens on 8th March. It will go on till 10th March. They are planning to raise 510 crores from the market at an issue price of 186 to 187. So far, we have understood the business of the company. The company is also fully bootstrapped, which is a really commendable thing. Also, they have been profitable compared to others which are loss-making entities. But now coming to the last part and the most important part, which is the valuation part. So there are no listed players in the India. Also, the ones who are there, unlisted ones, they are not making any profits. So we had to take Expedia and T-Trip, which are international players, for doing some pure comparison. Now, look at the EPS and PE of the company. FY20 PE is 58. If I were to talk about FY21 PE based on the results or based on the data that we have till date, then the PE comes at 48. Okay. But it might actually go up if the company is not able to recover all the income, all the deferred income, especially from the airline company, which is the concern I've been talking about. And look at the PE of these other players. If our company PE, even if we consider that it is 48, then too the PE is high compared to what price to equity we have for Expedia and T-Trip. And also, because we have problem with the other income factor, we would recommend you not to go ahead with this IPO at the moment. If there is any further update regarding this company, then we will definitely come up with other video. But that's it for now. This was our take on this IPO. If you have any questions, doubts, queries, you can mention in the comment section. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you know what you need to do. Press on that subscribe button and stay tuned with us for the other videos. Thank you so much.